matter what, there is always something to say. Claressa is certain that her place in the celebrity sphere is known to everybody. Rather than remaining silent and observing from the sidelines, she has stepped into the hot seat and is prepared for whatever happens next. If this problem has been bothering you, you already know that Remy and Papoose's romance is collapsing. As a couple, they were once admired by others, but things are getting worse now. Claressa Shields is treating Remy's alleged infidelity seriously, and her friendship with Papoose is becoming getting more unsteady. It appeared that he was prepared to move on, but Papoose, who had always been a loyal spouse, made it clear that he would not put up with games anymore. After she finished speaking, she began to express her dissatisfaction with Papoose's new existence. Although she seemed indifferent at first, it was obvious that she was miserable. She heard her joking about Papoose, saying things like, "Who cooks better, Papoose or me? He cannot cook anything." Rather than, she answered without saying anything. Supporters chose sides, with some contending that Remy was the root of this problem and others saying Papoose was moving on too quickly. Issue. By the end of the story, it is evident that Claressa is not afraid of Remy and will not tolerate her severe ways. People believed Papoose and Remy were the ideal couple, the kind of love that never ends for years. Despite their first suspicions that Remy was unfaithful, they persisted. They remembered Papoose's support during her 6 years in prison, including his care of their family and marriage to her while she was still incarcerated. Even though most people wouldn't wait 6 months, she had 6 years. Months, what he receives in. Trade? The first real indicator that something was wrong was that they had forgotten to wish him a happy Father's Day. Incorrect. He didn't even take a moment to wish him a happy Father's Day, despite the fact that he had raised their daughter, assisted her, and consistently demonstrated his love for her. Papoose announced the breakup of their beautiful marriage to the world by sharing a family photo on Instagram without Remy. Final. I remained silent, preferring to listen to Remy's explanation, but his actions spoke louder than words. The swords. We all know now, many people think Remy took Papoose for granted and thought he would always be there. Indeed. And now that he's finally moving on, she's playing the victim. Give support. People who support Papoose are saying that he should be given more, and they are blaming Remy for losing a man who was always loyal to her. Whether they began revealing privileged communications between Claressa and Papoose instead of keeping them secret, the situation deteriorated further. Disorganized. She believed that this would make her appear bitter and make him look terrible. He is the one with a spouse. What are we doing if you can't even talk to me on the phone while you sleep, or just let me know that you arrived home safely? In one of the leaked messages, Claressa told Papoose. Remy thought this would make Papoose look bad, but it actually made her look desperate. She tried to change the facts to give the impression that Papoose was associated with Claressa while they were still together. Effects. Remy claimed to have been on the phone with Claressa when she discovered the text, but the text became much more shocking at this point. Claressa did not keep quiet after realizing what Remy was trying to accomplish. Instead, she accused Remy of cheating first, not once but multiple times. Times. As the one who was acting dishonestly the entire time, she made it clear that Remy shouldn't pretend to be the victim. Instead of accepting responsibility for her mistakes, she is attempting to paint Papoose as the villain. A villain spoke up, and Papoose, who is usually a private person who dislikes posting about his troubles online, decided to correct the record. He recorded that Remy was unwilling to accept his long-standing request for a divorce. Since she couldn't keep quiet this time, she might have just made things worse for herself, and as a result, the internet is now closely watching the situation. After months of silence, Sizzlance.c is now making everything public, and many people are interested in the real nature of his relationship with Remy. The truth is that he is done with Remy and has been trying to file for divorce, but she won't sign the required paperwork. On in leave, Papoose even said that Remy Ma is a narcissist who has cheated on him repeatedly. And she's playing the victim now that he's moved on. My situation. Reason I didn't want to go public, but I've had enough. Message. It's a message that Remy had been acting as though Papoose had abruptly left her, but in fact, Papoose had made it clear that he was trying to formally end their relationship, and Remy was the one who ended it. This isn't even new. Last year, there were rumors that she was getting too close to battle rapper Easy the Block Captain, so this isn't new either. The more people looked into it, the more obvious it became. Now it makes sense if Papoose knew what was going on and was already attempting to get a divorce. He is divorced. He has been courteous and respectful, never sought attention online, and remained silent even when the rumors about Remy began. This is what really drew people to him. Many fans feel sorry for him because of how much Papoose invested in this relationship and how he supported Remy through everything, especially while she was in jail. He fought him, supported her career, took care of their daughter, and remained faithful. Papoose faithful. His secretive nature makes it even more shocking that he felt compelled to speak up. He tried to handle things discreetly, as evidenced by his note, but Remy continued his games. Although Remy has been regarded as an honest person, she hasn't really responded to any of this or made a clear statement disputing Papoose's claims. Instead, she is acting as though she was harmed, which is making things worse for her because she isn't providing any proof to support her allegations. Her allegations would have been clear by now if she had any concrete evidence that Papoose was lying, but instead, she is attempting to change the subject and avoid it. The problem is that people aren't interested in it. Papoose said that he wanted to keep things quiet for the sake of his daughter, who is caught in the middle, but Remy persisted in making things worse. This suggests worse. Papoose was thinking about their family and trying to be considerate. He probably hoped they could resolve their differences in private, but he was forced to speak out because she would not cooperate. This could have been avoided if Remy had just acted like an adult instead of trying to play the victim, especially now that all of their private issues are in the public eye and their daughter will. People are upset about Papoose's current partner and his decision to move on, but that isn't the main issue. Instead, the real issue is why Remy is making such an effort to maintain a relationship with someone she claims is unhealthy for her, and why is she reluctant to sign the divorce papers if she really thinks Papoose is the bad guy? Many people are perplexed. Some think she isn't struggling to accept the consequences of her own actions, but she is. Looking back, he is clearly ready to move on, and many think he has been too patient and is now only thinking about himself, while his supporters say that he deserves better, are encouraging him, and are posting positive comments on his social media pages. Some have even called this his freedom era, saying that he can now live his life without being constrained by a toxic relationship. Remy's relationship is rapidly changing. She was once praised for her self-assurance and strength, but now many people are criticizing her for not accepting responsibility, arguing that the incident proves that she betrayed Papoose instead of honoring his loyalty and assuming there would be no repercussions. The best course of action for her at this point would be to accept responsibility and move on, but the way things are going, it appears that Papoose has made it clear that he does not want to make amends, so the divorce is final. Until the inevitable, details will be viewed and discussed online. The internet as a whole learned that no matter how hard someone tries to hide the truth, it always comes out. Even Papoose, who caused the scandal and kept his private life off social media for years, could not remain silent indefinitely. It's a sin. When someone like him, who has always kept to himself, finally speaks up, it's clear that he is ready for his life and is no longer waiting and hoping for things to return to normal. Remy is hoping because of this, and for the first time, she is beginning to fear and accept that Papoose is never coming back. Now that they are no longer by his side, many people have a different perspective on Remy. She failed against Terry Remy. Her attempt to damage Papoose's reputation has only made her look worse. People are behaving. Ning whether Papoose and Remy love. The story, which was once considered to be one of the strongest in hip-hop, is genuinely over after they battled through betrayal and loyalty. Although it is evident that Oz has moved on, Remy doesn't seem to be ready to let go because Papoose has already made up his mind, and Remy doesn't care about the consequences of her actions. There are no go-aheads once he makes up his mind. The drama is infuriating because this time, however, things are different, and he is not like Easy the Block Captain, a battle rapper who has been associated with Remy. The rumors, whispers, and small clues all led to the same conclusion. There was more to his relationship with Remy than business, as others had been speculating for months. Easy now claims that he was suspicious and had begun to piece things together long before the internet even began talking about it, so he was aware of it the entire time and wasn't caught off guard. Then, to everyone's surprise, Easy revealed that Papoose had been surreptitiously listening in on Remy's conversations to confirm his suspicions. It was no longer expected. The difficult split was now about trust, treachery, and how far someone would go to get the truth. Easy claims that surprise. Eason was watching Remy for a few months. He was doing his own months and making sure he had trustworthy evidence before acting, instead of just listening to hearsay from others. He even secretly installed a device in Remy's car so he could listen in on her private discussions. Part truth. Some praised him for his intelligence and for waiting for proof before accusing him, while others thought it was excessive to save others on his wife and record her conversations, saying that if he was that suspicious, he should have simply left. Many, however, pointed out that there would have been suspicion and people would have wondered why he had. The moose isn't going back. Easy went on to provide back. Easymation, proving that he had known something was wrong long before it was made public. He claimed that although he never confronted him directly, his actions began to change. At first, he thought it was just typical business drama. Rappers are known for their arguments and misunderstandings. But now that he has unquestionably proven it, he is free to move forward without hesitation. When he stepped back, he noticed that Papoose had been watching him closely, waiting for the right opportunity to catch Remy in the act. He was deeply affected by this realization because it was something much more serious than a simple disagreement or misunderstanding. All of the miscommunications showed that Papoose had been recording her conversations and placing gadgets in Remy's car. If he had gone that far, it would mean that he had been suspicious for a long time. The main question now was how long this had been going on. Had Remy been betrayed for years, or was this something new? Fans' opinions varied. He said Papoose was right to defend himself in the entertainment industry, where reputation is everything, as it can be extremely damaging to gather evidence of his behavior. Behavior Rem for years. He had always stood by her, protected her, and sacrificed for her in order to maintain their bond. Others, on the other hand, bond. He viewed that spying on his wife, regardless of her actions, was excessive. They maintained that excess. The hip is already finished if trust is violated to that degree. Staying together is a point of degree. You have to listen in on private talks and follow someone around. People's perceptions also shifted. Now she was perceived as shifted, who had taken that dedication for granted, rather than as a strong, independent woman with a loyal spouse. The internet did not hold up, and many started searching for proof that this had been going on all along by looking at old interviews, song lyrics, and historical occasions. Supporters noted those occasions. Roos's constant claims of loyalty to Remy, including throughout her incarceration, were unable to maintain her loyalty. People started to question loyalty. People Captain's role in all of this as the situation. When he finally spoke out, there were questions about whether he was adding to the already tense situation, or if he was more involved in acknowledging, or if he was just caught in the middle. Since he was now linked to one of the biggest controversies in hip-hop, some thought he was doing it to get publicity, while others said he was doing it to clear his name and prove he wasn't the one who started everything. From his point of view, everything had already happened, and Remy was the only one who remained attached to him, but she didn't seem to be able to comprehend that it was truly over. Perhaps she didn't realize how much she had hurt him, but it was obvious that he had already made up his mind, and once he did, it couldn't be changed. It's a story of loyalty, betrayal, and heartbreak involving Papoose, Remy Ma, and Claressa Shields. If you've been following along, you know it's more than just a breakup. While Remy Ma has to deal with the consequences of her behavior, Papoose, who was once praised as the epitome of a faithful spouse, is currently going through the painful end of a relationship he committed years to. The drama has only gotten worse since Claressa took center stage, but which side is the stage? If you share our passion for this story, please enjoy this video, click the history subscribe button, and leave a comment below with your thoughts. Do you think that the opinions between Papoose and Remy Ma are truly over? Or is reconciliation still going on? Keep checking back for more juicy updates, behind-the-scenes information, and all the drama straight from the most talked-about love triangle in hip-hop. Remy Ma still deserves an opportunity to present her case. What about Claressa? Did she have the right to confront the dishonesty and maintain her ground?